Opening. Historical basis. In the 13th century, a fierce battle broke out on the Bac Dong River, where Chinese forces launched an invasion into Vietnam. Against all odds, the smaller Vietnamese nation triumphed, thanks to brilliant strategy, unity, and determination. But what if history had been altered due to a hidden mistake? Premise 1. Is life a pre-programmed system? Life is like a pre-programmed system. But at times, unforeseen events emerge like system errors, forcing us to become part of a history that's still being rewritten. In a quiet home in New Jersey, USA, a Rutgers University student sat beside his father, fingers moving swiftly over a keyboard. He was testing a historical simulation program, an algorithm designed to reconstruct real past events. When the screen displayed the final result, he paused, turned to his father and said, "According to the simulation, the 13th century river battle ended in defeat for this smaller nation. After that, they were absorbed into the neighboring empire. Take a look, Dad."
Premise 2. Is the truth wrong, or is the simulation wrong? The father leaned in, frowning as he read. How could that be? Can you adjust it? The student frowned thoughtfully, scrolling through dense lines of code. This is no ordinary program. It connects real historical truths with algorithmic structure. It was developed by me and my sister. The data is correct. Look at the map. The father turned toward the old map on the wall. That's odd. This country doesn't even appear on modern maps. Something's not right. The student murmured to himself, I've run every protocol. If we want to change the outcome, there's only one way left. And from here, the time-bending adventure begins. Premise 3. Intrusion into the past. He looked up at his father and said, We have to go back to that moment to be part of the real strategy. But I need to stay here to control the simulation. His father raised an eyebrow. But how? Are you saying I could go back? The student kept typing, lines of code racing down the screen. After a pause, he looked up, voice steady. I figured it out. Let me check with my sister. He picked up the phone, but before he could dial, a knock interrupted. Premise 4. She's even smarter than me. A middle school-aged girl stepped into the room, her expression serious, gaze fixed on the two of them. Neither of you are allowed to modify the simulation. It's already running. With that, she shut the door firmly behind her. Silence. Her warning still echoed in the room. If you get it wrong, the consequences will be irreversible. The father turned, voice hushed. She said no. Do you think we can still go through with it? The student stared at the screen. She's better than me. She's fixed so many of my errors before. But I still have one option. He looked up, eyes now burning with resolve. Dad, go to the library. I need you to find this one book. Everything was only just beginning.
Part 1. The beginning. In the hushed stillness of the National Library, between time-worn shelves etched with age, Pham Hu the slowly turned page after page. He didn't know what he was looking for, only that something deep inside urged him on, as if a secret long buried was waiting to be uncovered. Beneath layers of dust, an ancient book appeared. No author, its leather cover worn thin by centuries. The moment his fingers brushed the first page, a blinding light burst forth. The room began to tremble. Bookshelves seemed to stretch into infinity, then dissolve, and the floor beneath his feet cracked open. A small whirlwind swirled into existence, right there in the quiet reading room, pulling into its vortex of nothingness. He tried to scream, but his voice was swallowed whole by the storm's spinning fury. Everything faded into darkness. Part 2. Time travel to the 13th century. When he opened his eyes, the world had changed. No honking cars, no glowing streetlights, only the scent of damp earth. the whispering wind through the trees. And far ahead, an ancient village slowly came into view. The stood frozen, his breath quick and shallow. He had just traveled through time to the 13th century, an era he had once passionately studied. But now, he wasn't reading history, he was walking it. Stepping into the unfamiliar village, Theo was stunned by the traditional garments, long robes adorned with intricate patterns, just like the ones from the Tran dynasty he had seen in ancient texts. The villagers spoke in an archaic form of Vietnamese, their tones strange yet oddly familiar. And somehow, they understood every word, as if an invisible voice were translating them directly into his mind. Suspicious glances began to gather. His modern clothing quickly became the subject of hushed whispers. Realizing the need to blend in, he sought out more appropriate attire. After changing into something that drew less attention, Thee made up his mind to ask for directions to the capital, the place he believed held answers about the era he had just stepped into.
Part 3. The Journey to the Capital. Along his journey, he stopped at a small roadside tavern. Inside, an elderly man was telling stories, his voice resonant, every word delivered with elegance and power. The audience sat spellbound, their eyes wide as if each tale came to life before them, like a historical epic unfolding on the screen of their minds. Suddenly, an idea lit up in The's mind. If storytelling here was a way to earn a living, he could do it too. Armed with deep historical knowledge, they began to recount tales of legendary battles and heroic figures. But the strangest thing was, what he spoke of wasn't just the distant past, they were events that were just beginning to unfold. Whispers spread quickly about the strange young man from afar who seemed to predict the future with uncanny accuracy. His reputation grew by the day, drawing both fascinated and suspicious eyes. They could feel it. His presence was disrupting the flow of history. And this was only the beginning.
Please continue to follow Chapter 2 of the story, The Time Lost. Here, you will meet a powerful figure from the 13th century, and he himself participated in changing history. Has the fate of this small country been altered? Please like and share. Thank you.